He serves the globe with his professionalism. Yes, indeed. Artist he is. Yes, indeed. A charming personality. Yes, indeed. An internationally renowned figure. Yes, indeed. A politician. Yes, indeed. A singer, a musician, a poet, without a doubt. And bearing the latter in mind, this jack of all trades and master of them all too, Mr. Bharat Bhargava today pays a special tribute to Bollywood in his popular segment called In Dialogue.
Namaskar, I'm Bharat Bhargava. Thanks for joining In Dialogue. Our program today is a centenary tribute to Bollywood. The first Indian feature film, Raja Harishchandra, was made in 1913. As many viewers know, most of my career has been in banking and economic development. Boring. Well, not to me. In any case, I've had nothing to do with Bollywood in my profession, but somehow I have run into a whole lot of people from the industry over time. Of course, it's not quite like Nilima ji sitting here demurely, who has been mingling with stars in her work for 40 years. 40 years? Since before she was born? Can that be right, Aaron? And by the way, all these fancy introductions I have watched Nilima ji make to In Dialogue program are her spur-of-the-moment creations to embarrass me, considering her privilege as the executive producer. One reason for my running into Bollywood people could be that cultural activities have been a tiny bit part of my hobby for a long time. But the main reason has been some random aligning of the stars, pun intended. So today I will reminisce about a few of the interactions I have had with them as a part of our memoir series that you have so generously received. Despite all the criticism, you have to agree Indian movies have become a powerful source of entertainment, not just in India, but worldwide. In India, of course, news about politics, movies, sports, and economy compete almost equally for newspaper headlines. But I have found that people from countries worldwide not only watch Indian movies regularly, they even keep up with the gossip mill, like which stars are dating or have broken up with whom, and so forth. Before going further, I must add one more thing. I didn't used to read Filmfare or other movie magazines before I came to the US, and have certainly not done so since. Therefore, many of you wonderful viewers know much more about Bollywood scene than I do. So my examples will be about some mildly interesting human interest gapar-sapar. So, we all remember Prithviraj Kapoor for his amazing role as Akbar in Mughal-e-Azam. A lot before Mughal-e-Azam was made, he was in Jaipur once, and for a school cultural event, we had invited him to speak to the students. Here is young Prithviraj, and I am also sitting there. Prithviraj ji told us he started his film career working in silent movies. Then in 1931, he acted in India's first talking movie, Aar Paar. By the way, for decades thereafter, movies were called talkies. Prithviraj ji told us theatre was his first love, and he had brought his travelling troupe, Prithvi Theatres, to Jaipur for performing dramas. Since those times, we all know about Raj Kapoor and so many other members of the Kapoor clan who have been all over the industry. During the 50s, I had the opportunity to represent the University of Rajasthan at the initial 3 inter-university youth festivals in New Delhi. During one of them, my brother Ashok and I became friends with 4 participants from Bombay University because their tent was very close to ours. One of them was Vijay Anand, called Goldie by everyone. The others were Usha Anand, Vijay and Devanand's sister, Satyadev Dubey, future Bollywood personality and Padma Bhushan, and Mahendra Kapoor. Mahendra Kapoor used to sing Rafi Sahib's songs, and Ashok and I must have spent hours listening to them from him. Then in 1958, Murphy Radio held a nationwide singing competition, something like today's Saregama-pa, except there was no TV back then. TV started in India in 1959. Om Shivpuri and Arun Mathur went from Jaipur to Delhi to act in the premier black and white TV episode Ram Leela. Mahendra Kapoor won the first prize and got to sing in V. Shantaram's movie Navrang. Since then, would you believe he sang over 25,000 songs? In 1961, All India Radio Jaipur officers Ramesh Chandra, Suresh Srivastav and I had organized a statewide drama competition. To preside at the awards night, we had invited the Shakespearean actor and movie icon Sohrab Modi, who also gets credit for immortalizing Prithviraj Kapoor through his movie Sikandar. Here we are. We had also invited his Jhansi Ki Rani fame wife Mehtab Modi. The next day, Mehtab ji wanted to buy some Jaipur tie and dye saris, so we went to Tripolia Bazaar. As I parked at the curb and we started walking toward the store, the owner of a tea stall on the sidewalk spotted Sohrab and Mehtab Modi as soon as they stepped out of the car and ran behind us requesting them to accept a cup of tea from him. I told him we were rushed, but he said, "Chai tayyar hai sahab, bas ek minute mein le aunga." So as he ran toward the stall, Mehtab ji asked Sohrab ji, "So are we going to drink his tea?" To which Sohrab Modi replied, "We are what we are because of these people." We all drank kullad ki chai right there. Before I came here, Asrani and I used to do skits on All India Radio. He was a student at Rajasthan College where I taught. He was not my student. I was told those skits were re-aired by Vivid Bharati for many years after I had come here in 1962. Asrani and I stayed a little bit in touch, and in 1985, I invited him to be the master of ceremonies for the August 15 program we had organized at Independence Mall in Philadelphia, which ended up attracting 6,000 to 7,000 viewers. I had sent Govardhan Asrani the program agenda in advance, but I was surprised when, as the MC, he rattled off 20 to 25 full names of the presidents of the participating associations and the key guests with individual designations down pat. Later, I asked him how he did that, and he said, "Bharat sahab, filmi duniya mein reh ke ratta lagane ki khoob practice ho gayi hai." About 10 years or so later, when I went to Bombay, I let Asrani know. He came over to the hotel for chai pani. During our conversation, I said I would also love to invite the other comedian, Johnny Walker, to the US sometime for a gathering of friends at my place. Asrani pulled out a little notebook from his pocket and gave me Johnny Walker's number. I called up. His son answered and said his father was in Madras. Coincidentally, I had a meeting planned with the Indian Overseas Bank management in Madras the following week. Another coincidence is that I generally stayed at Taj hotels, and his son told me Johnny Walker was staying at Taj Coromandel. Once there, I called up and Johnny Walker Saab came to my room. He said he would be happy to come to my proposed get-together. He also told me actually his children lived in the US, in Chicago and Boston, as I recall, and he came to the US once a year anyway. He also said, "As you may know, I've not been acting for the last 10 to 15 years, but Kamal Bhai told me I had to be in his new movie that he's making, so I'm here." The movie was Chachi 420, in which he played the role of a drunk man. As you know, nobody could do that type of role better than Johnny Walker. That's what got him the name. To start with, his real name was Badruddin. A related trivia, I found out that he never had alcohol in his life. Shortly after that trip to India, I started my company Bank World, got a little bit tied up for a while and could not follow up, during which time, sadly, Johnny Walker Saab passed away. The regret stays with me today, but I did get to spend some most enjoyable time with one of my all-time favorites. One time, a friend visited me with C. Ramchandraji, who has been a music director and also a playback singer as Chitalkar. He told us many Bollywood anecdotes, including about his comical song, Ana Meri Jaan. I told him that as children, we could not say Meri Jaan, so we had to do a search and replace all with Mary John. From time to time, I have ran into movie people in hotels. One time I had gone up to our hotel's terrace bar with my other American colleagues who were there with me for a beer, and Anil Kapoor walked in with a couple of his friends and sat down nearby. You know how it is in America. You can start conversation with anybody, even in the elevator, whether you know them or not. We did the same, Anil Kapoor, and we chatted. Oh, you know how Salman Khan always finds an excuse in the movies to take off his shirt and show his muscles? In the case of Anil Kapoor, no matter how many dusham macho roles he may perform, you will never see him take off his shirt, I think. I can only whisper the reason to you. Anil Kapoor and I happened to stand with each other for a while like this. And I can tell you, he must not believe in pumping iron at all. I'm talking silly stuff, but let me say, he is my most favorite star among those living. Similarly, one time I had come down ahead of my staff to my hotel's taxi area when Jaya Bhadri also happened to walk in. We waited for quite a few minutes, even exchanged some niceties. At one point, she made a call on her mobile and asked someone agitated, "To abhi kitni dur ho?" I wouldn't know what the reply she got, but she put her mobile back in her purse, and soon after a huge car pulled in, she waved a swift so long to me and got in the car. Amitabh Bachchan could not be seen. All the windows of the car were blackened. During the late 80s, some of you may know Dartbusters stupidity was going on in Jersey City. The South Asian community had me come there for a few times in connection with that situation. So one time they had organized some honoring type stuff at which Sunil Dutt and Dara Singh were also with me at the dais. What struck me most talking to Dara Singh ji was that he has been India's top wrestler before and did the role of Hanumanji in the Ramayana serial, among others, but how incredibly humble and gentle person he was. Sunilji was the same way. About 10 years ago, I had some meetings with banks and Reserve Bank in Bombay, and I was staying at Taj Lands End with my wife. It turned out the Movie Guild was launching a new awards program called Apsara in that hotel. I don't recall the exact circumstances, but as guests, the hotel gave us some courtesy invitation to attend that event. It was a garden type affair and a chock full of movie people were there. I'll tell you about two of them. I reached out to Ashutosh Gavarikar, the producer of Swadesh. I asked him what made him give the name Bhargava to Mohan, the role Shah Rukh Khan played. He said because it sounded intellectual. I thought to myself, he's got that one wrong. Maybe he's confused about the name because of Bhargava dictionaries. Bhargavas are no more intellectual than all the people that may be named Webster. But I got to know a few more things about his future and past movies. Yog and I also chatted with our favorite Sri Devi. In this picture, she looks nothing like the bubbly, frolicking, giggly Pallavi she was in Lamhe. Only recently I learned that Sri Devi always looks serious but transforms 180 degrees as soon as she's in front of the camera, as she did in English Winglish again, for example. Oh, by the way, the next day my taxi driver pointed out to me Shah Rukh Khan's famous house, Mannat, which was just about a block or less from the hotel. Introduced by a common friend, Ustad Salamat Ali stayed at our house for a few days. From Drupad family, he and his brother Nazakat Ali have been incredible exponents of khayal singing. Yog and I enjoyed listening to him and his son Sharafat at close quarters. Ustad Salamat Ali amazed me when he told me that Hanumanji was his Isht Devta. Connecting with Bollywood, some of you may have seen Sharafat Ali's son Shujat Ali performing on Saregama. Shujat represents the 11th generation of singers of the Sham Chaurasia Gharana that was formed in the 1600s contemporaneously with Tansen. Most of us know about the inventor of Mohan Veena and Emmy winner Vishwa Mohan Bhatt. I saw him just a few months ago at a concert in suburban Washington. He's 63. I knew him from before. You see, their family lived in Bhatton Ki Gali off of Chara Rasta in Jaipur. And his older brother, nicknamed Raja, was my best friend during my school days. We went to each other's house a lot, but of course I never paid attention to Raja's younger siblings at the time. So the last time I had seen Vish Mohan was when he was 2 years old. For those of you who may not know, Bhatt refers to musical performers anyway. Gotta go. I hope you join me in congratulating Bollywood on completing 100 years since its inception and wish it ever greater success in the future. Do join us next Saturday again. Sunday?
I love you. Ooh, yeah, I love you. तुझे पेरिस दिखाऊं, तुझे लंदन घुमाऊं, तुझे ब्रांडी पिलाऊं, विस्की पिलाऊं और खिलाऊं मुर्गी के अंडे खाना मेरी जान संडे के संडे। हाथ ले वॉक कर रहे हम, आओ स्वीट आपस में टॉक कर रहे हम।
अरे हट सैया मेरा परवाना है मारे जंद हजार, आहा मारे जंद हजार। सैया मेरा परवाना है मारे जंद हजार, आहा मारे जंद हजार। भाग जाएगा बेसुम बंदर देगा जो ललकार, भाग जाएगा बेसुम बंदर देगा जो ललकार। मारे गिन गिन के डंडे डंडे,
खाना में जान संडे के संडे। डडा पापा
ये गाँव की नेटिव लड़की है, ये दिल की बीटिंग क्या जाने, ये डेटिंग हंटिंग क्या जाने, ये लव की मीटिंग क्या जाने।
राइट ऑल राइट।
आओ डियर हम चले देयर गड़े मोहब्बत के ठंडे ठंडे।
खाना में जान संडे के संडे, में जान संडे के संडे। खाना में जान संडे